Hi guys, we are continuing our look at intonation, this time on Gibson style guitars. So we've got the sort of tunematic style stop tail piece and separate bridge, slightly different procedure. We're still looking to do the same thing, I guess.
We're essentially doing exactly the same. Scale length compensation.
Sure.
Also this scale is just ever slightly shorter than the Strat.
Okay.
Okay, just being 24 3/4 of an inch.
Okay. So I guess that means that the movements that we're going to have to do are fractionally smaller.
Fractionally smaller,
but
yeah.
Not, I guess it's not going to be noticeable, but...
Also a couple of little differences to note on the Gibson. Some of the bridges face forward, okay, via just-in screws.
Let's have a close look at that.
This is an ABR style bridge, okay, and they tend to face forward.
Okay.
The Tunimatics have a slightly thicker thread here, okay.
Perfect.
So these thumb wheels are actually inside a stud.
Perfect. So forgive my ignorance. What's the difference between Tunematic and ABR? Is it just different design?
The Tunematic is ever so slightly wider. Okay, so you have more string length compensation on that one.
Okay, fair enough.
But this is ever so slightly sort of older style. Okay, they're both as good as one another, I'd say. If you have poor intonation, then the Tunematic having that slightly wider bridge would help. But
right.
You've got so much movement in here.
Okay.
That you should be able to intonate the guitar, dependent, irrespective of the gauge of string, your action heights, etc. So,
right. Okay.
Which, just to reiterate, we're going to do the intonation. It will be the last thing we do, so we're not going to adjust the action height afterwards, or
I see.
Everything's been done before.
Perfect. Okay. And again, we briefly sort of went onto it last time, but that's because it doesn't have a knock-on effect on anything else,
whereas everything else does.
Perfect. Okay, brilliant.
And also, if you didn't see the Fender one, the Strat style one, it's best to try to do this in the playing position.
Yep.
Okay, so sat down on a stool like so. Okay,
sure.
As best you can.
Yeah.
And we're using a clip-on tuner, which is perfectly fine for doing this job.
Sure. Brilliant.
Okay, so we're going to get the open note in tune. We're going to double check that, and then play the fretted note.
Perfect.
Again, playing the fretted note. Fretted, sat down, in the playing position is a bit more accurate, okay?
Okay.
And so it'd be worth doing that. Perfect. The other little thing to note is that these are flathead screws rather than Phillips styles, which were on the Strat.
Sure. Okay.
And predominantly on these types, they are exactly that, okay? I think the Nashville Tunematic might have threaded ones, Phillips ones.
Phillips. Okay, perfect.
Okay, so with the open E in tune, can you see that?
Let's have a look. There we go.
And we just fret the 12th fret. And that's in tune, okay?
Sure.
I suspect if that were in a playing position, it wouldn't even fault. It would just be a very nice open E.
Yep.
I would say there is a degree of tolerance within it, okay? You can, particularly as we're not mechanical in playing them either. Everyone's going to play the note ever so slightly differently. Okay.
Sure.
But a tolerance of 1 or 2 cents either side. We're not audibly going to hear it, and it's sometimes it becomes difficult to see on a tuner anyway.
Sure. I see. So
that's falling flat on the decay, and again, I'd say that's absolutely fine.
Yeah, so as we covered briefly in the last video, you expect a string to fall flat in its decay just because I'm guessing that when it's first played, it's vibrating more. It's kind of got more tension, more pressure on the string, producing a higher note perhaps. I'm sort of guessing here, but and then as it falls flat, it's less of a movement.
So that D is fine too.
Yep.
Okay. We'll just check the G.
Okay, so that looks...
So that's now
perfect.
just in
tune.
tune.
It up a little bit. Okay, so...
Again, audibly I can hear that that's pretty decent, okay?
Yeah, absolutely.
Let's just try the B and the E,
yep.
Okay? But if these are intonated well, what we'll do, I just want to, shorten the scale on the G, for instance.
So we can see,
okay?
absolutely.
We'll just show it again, and then we're re-intonated, okay?
Yeah, sounds good to me.
But you never know, the B might be out on this. Whoever did it before was quite accurate.
Really? That looks pretty good to me.
Sounds pretty good too, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
It's worth trying to get that open note right.
Yeah,
okay?
absolutely.
If you're a bit too quick with that and it's sort of flat, or
Yeah.
you're actually attacking it a little bit and you're making it sharp, you're not going to be highly accurate here, okay? Okay, so that was pretty good. So what I'll do, I'll just change the, say the G here, okay?
Okay, so you're slightly...
So actually shortening the scale.
Shortening the scale there by sort of screwing in at that end.
Yep, I'll just retune it.
We've kind of made it a little bit flat, now bringing it back up to pitch.
Okay.
Okay, perfect.
And we tried a fretted note.
Yep.
Centre of the fret, a good level of attack, same medium level of attack.
Yep.
And you can see it's wavering sharp, and you can hear it, it's audibly quite sharp, okay?
Absolutely.
So we need to lengthen that scale, we need to pull that saddle back, okay? So we're going to screw that and send it towards the tailpiece, okay?
Okay, let's have a look at that. Okay, so unscrewing this time, which if we can look from over the head, yeah, has moved that saddle back.
Okay, now the note will be sharp on the open. Okay?
Perfect, yeah. Okay, so tuning down below the note and then back up to pitch. Fantastic.
And there we're back to accurate.
Yeah.
Tuning at the 12th fret too.
Brilliant, perfect. Okay, so often with, now I mean we briefly talked about beforehand with different guitars, it's not always easy to just look at it and know. There are certain patterns that you see in a lot of the same kind of guitars, but really you can't tell by looking at it.
Absolutely, and also bear in mind the gauge of string is going to alter your intonation. Also, some people's heights are different, so that's going to affect their intonation.
And also, I guess if some people have a wound G string, if they've got slightly heavier gauge strings.
Open note, fretted.
Yeah,
needs to be the same at the 12th.
Sure.
And that's as good as we can get. Then it's down to, you know, fretting.
The rest of it is down to technique. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Okay, perfect. So that's interesting. So very important with intonation. Well, it's important full stop, but it's very important to be scientific about it. To play the open note, give yourself something to compare yourself to. I guess if you're going to go to the trouble of setting your action height to the nearest, 64th of an inch.
Yeah, and your neck relief to the nearest thousandth of an inch.
Absolutely.
Then you can be as accurate here too.
Perfect. Okay, brilliant. Okay, so that's us for intonation. That's covered Gibson and Fender style guitars. I hope you've enjoyed that and got something from it. We'll see you next time.